everybody, it's Kathy at Northstar Prepsteader. I'm still in winter prep mode. The Lord blessed us with a few more nice days, although just in the last 15 minutes we've got clouds rolling in here. We are preparing for another storm this weekend. It's been 1 week since our last one. So right now I've been focusing on the garden and trying to get it all done and ready. I'll show you what I've got finished. I got all my containers taken care of there. All my beds are ready. You can see, for those of you who are wondering about strawberries, they even started growing back a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to be covering them up. Under the containers that were along the side of the fence there, I pulled up about another 30 slugs. I just put them in a bucket of warm salt water, and that was the end of those. Now these containers that are left are my lemon balm. I have 3 of those and 1 echinacea. I really want to replant those, especially the lemon balm. I want to put it outside of the garden since it's supposed to be rabbit proof. I've started loading some dirt in here. Now this pile of dirt is what I pulled from the containers that I had already done, and I went through those and pulled any roots and different things out there, but it's still rich black soil that I'm going to use to fill these beds. So I already started doing that. I want to get a layer of leaves in here first, and then I'll put some more soil in, and then just keep filling up with dirt and leaves, kind of layering it. Alright, I got my car loaded with wood chips and mulch from Menards, and I just want to thank the 2 young men who helped me load this. It was wonderful. I've got 14 bags in my car. I love my magic seat because I can stack things in the middle. Okay, so I've got all of my beds ready and turned over. Except for the new ones. The new ones I'm still loading in. Let me show you. So all these beds are done, put to rest, ready to go for the winter. One thing I do is I turn these over. So you remember I put that layer of comfrey leaves over. Well, when I just turn over the soil here, shovelful by shovelful, I stand right in there and turn them over, and kind of buries the leaves. Not only that, kind of leaving it in chunks like this helps the beds to collect other leaves that are falling off the trees. I can throw some other compost in here, and it will get down into these little crevices and sit. By next spring, the rain and the snow and the weight of everything, this will be totally flat. This allows some nutrients to get down below the surface level. Okay, I just have some wood mulch that I'm going to put in my new beds. I already have like a small layer of wood chips on the bottom, then a little bit of a layer of very rich soil. I'm just going to keep layering these. One thing right now, the caulk in some of the areas in the seams are still curing, so I don't want to put too much in there. I'm just going to put 1 bag of the wood mulch in each of the beds, and then I'm going to rake up some leaves, put that in there, and then put some more dirt in here. Okay, I'm putting this weed barrier down between my last beds and the fence, which is so overgrown with grass and weeds. I have to get in there and weed that out. I was hoping the weed barrier would be wide enough to be able to extend out under the fence another foot or so, but it's not. So if I have leftovers, I'll cut extra strips and add them to that. Okay, this weed barrier, it's kind of like almost a tarp on one side and then a heavy felt on the other. So this will grab the ground very easily on the one side, and then allow water through it, but keep the weeds out. This area in the back of my garden has been the worst to deal with in the way of weeds and grass growing up. And even though I've had weed barrier down and a lot of wood chips and everything, it's still, every year I'm having to weed several times, and I still end up with all of this. It's a chore. So I'm hoping that this is going to at least help a lot. Now you may be wondering why I'm trying to do all of this in the fall before winter. You know, some of you might think, well, just do it in the spring. It'll be much easier. You won't be so rushed. Well, actually spring ends up being more rushed. Like this year, we were still having snow by the middle of May. And then right after that, it rained and rained and rained. And we couldn't even get in the garden to even plant until the first week in June. So to be able to do any maintenance in spring is just not feasible. So the more I can get done in the mosquitoes are still out even after a hard frost. So the more I can get done in the fall, the easier it is in the spring and for the rest of the year. If I can get everything prepped and ready to go except for the final soil prep before planting and then planting, it makes it so much easier in the spring, because then there's so many other things to have to deal with. A lot of winter cleanup in the yard and a lot of stuff going on. So fall is the time to really prepare and get this done. Now the first weed barrier that I laid down in this garden was so much easier to put down because I didn't have any of the beds built. So I could just start at one end and run the strips back and forth and just side by side and cover it all that way. And that went really quickly. Right now I can't do that, so I have to just go between the beds. I'm not even able to tuck it under the edges either because the beds are so heavy. So the best I can do is just run it up along the side. So all along the north side where my new beds are, all of that is mulched and covered. The entire back strip is covered and mulched. The entire south side towards the fence is all covered, and between all of those beds. So the perimeter is all finished, which is always the worst. Okay, I'm filling up my new beds again a little bit more. Hopefully kind of top them off today. I put a cartload of leaves in each one of the beds, and it was a thickness of maybe about 4 inches or so. About 4 inches, and then I put 1 cartload of dirt in here. I'll probably put 2 more, so that would be like 3 cartloads of dirt in each of the beds, and then I'll see after that how full it is and what else I need. You can see one of my weed barriers down in this particular path, and I'm securing them with garden staples. This is what they look like. I got them on Amazon. I think they were like $14 for a pack of 100. They're pretty heavy gauge. They're 6 inches long. So you can see how I've put them in along the beds to secure it there. All right, my garden is done. If the fall extends a little bit more, I may amend the beds a little bit with maybe throwing some mulch, compost, grass clippings, other things like that on top of the beds. But as of right now, it's done. I got the new weed barriers in, new mulch in. The beds are all done and ready for winter. So you guys, it's getting towards the end of October, and I got it all done. So there's other things on the homestead that have to get ready for winter. Hopefully I'll have some time. It doesn't look like much snow in the forecast, just cold temperatures. Today was like the last nice day in the low 50s. If you consider that a nice day. From now on out, the highs are going to be in the low 30s Fahrenheit. So yeah, I'm trying to get ready for winter. So you guys, thank you so much for all your ideas and following along with me with the winter. I sure do appreciate you, and just stay tuned for other things I have to do to get ready for winter. Take care. God bless. Always have hope. Bye.